Welcome back to the deep dive. And a big welcome back to everyone tuning in from Professor Segi's social psychology class at Los Angeles City College. If you're juggling classes, maybe a job, figuring out your future, and just, surviving LA traffic, your brain's working overtime. Today, we're jumping into Module 3, Social Beliefs and Judgments. Think of it less like hitting the books and more like an exploration. We're looking inside the mind's control center.
Yeah, our mission is to understand how we make these super fast judgments about everything and everyone, often without even realizing we're doing it.
Exactly. This module really unpacks the ways we judge, the ways we explain stuff, how we perceive our social world. And here's the really key thing, maybe even a little unsettling, how we see things internally. It genuinely shapes the reality we experience on the outside. Our thoughts aren't just observing, they're building.
Okay, so our thoughts are builders. Where do we start understanding that? Well, the starting point is this foundational idea from Daniel Kahneman. Basically, you've got two systems in your brain running things. There's system one, that's your intuition. It's automatic, unconscious, super fast, that gut feeling.
Got it. System 1, the fast one.
And then there's system two. That's the deliberate one. It's controlled, conscious, and definitely slower. It's your analytical thinking.
And the module suggests, what, that System 1 is running the show most of the time?
Pretty much, yeah. That's the staggering part. System one, the automatic pilot, influences way more of our actions than our conscious system two usually gets credit for. We tend to think we're consciously deciding everything, but maybe not so much.
Okay, wow. So let's dig into that fast brain, System 1, and the kind of traps it sets for us. Where do we begin?
Let's start with priming.
Priming, okay.
So priming is basically just activating certain associations in your memory. It can be really subtle, like maybe you see an image even when you don't consciously register, and it can subtly influence how you interpret a conversation moments later, or even what you remember.
So things we don't even notice are tweaking our thoughts and action.
Exactly. It shows just how much of our social processing is automatic. And this ties right into something called embodied cognition.
Embodied cognition. What's that?
It's this idea that your physical state, your bodily sensations, directly influence your thoughts and judgments. They kind of talk to each other, think about being really stressed, maybe after driving the 10 during rush hour. That physical tension, it doesn't just feel bad.
Right.
It can actually prime your brain. You might judge a new person you meet, maybe even a potential boss, as less trustworthy or, I don't know, more aggressive, just because your body is tense.
Whoa. So my stress from traffic could literally make me misjudge someone in a meeting.
It absolutely could.
Yeah.
Your body's state is feeding information directly to your judgment center.
Okay, so that's a big reason to take a breath before important interactions.
Definitely. And system one, being so fast, it's also prone to some pretty spectacular mistakes. One huge one is the overconfidence phenomenon.
Ah, yes, overconfidence. I think we all know that one. Or we are that one sometimes.
We are. It's the tendency to be more confident that we are correct. We overestimate how accurate our beliefs actually are.
But this module points out something really interesting, kind of harsh about it. The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yes, the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's this cruel twist where incompetence actually fuels overconfidence.
How does that work?
Well, it basically takes competence to recognize competence, even in yourself. So the research mentioned shows students who perform the worst on tests, they're often the most likely to overestimate how well they did.
Because they don't know enough to even realize they don't know it.
Exactly. They're, as the phrase goes, unskilled and unaware of it.
Okay, that's slightly terrifying. So if I'm interviewing someone for a job, maybe in a field I don't know super well, and they seem incredibly confident.
That overwhelming confidence could actually be a warning sign, right? It's counterintuitive because we're often told to project confidence, especially here in LA, chasing ambitions.
So how do we guard against being fooled by overconfidence or being overconfident ourselves?
The module suggests two really practical things. First, get prompt, honest feedback whenever you can.
Okay, feedback makes sense.
And second, and this takes conscious effort, force yourself to think of at least one good reason why your initial judgment might be wrong.
Ah, so actively challenge your own certainty. Engage system 2.
Precisely. If you don't, you slide right into confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. That's looking for proof that we're right.
You got it. It's our tendency to actively search for information that confirms what we already believe. We love to verify our own ideas.
But we're not so keen on finding evidence that might prove us wrong.
Not at all. Think about social media feeds or which news sources people follow. It's often about creating these these ideological echo chambers.
We seek out what feels right, what confirms our System 1 snap judgment.
Yeah, that fast brain guides us towards information that validates itself.
Okay, so System 1 is fast, it's overconfident, it loves confirmation. It's making all these errors. How does it manage to be so efficient?
Through shortcuts, mental shortcuts. The technical term is heuristics.
It's heuristics, right.
These are thinking strategies that let us make quick, efficient judgments. They're not inherently bad. They're necessary for speed. But the trade-off is they lead to predictable errors.
Okay, so what are some key heuristics?
Well, a big one is the representativeness heuristic.
Representativeness.
This is when we judge whether someone or something belongs to a group based on how much it seems to resemble a typical member of that group, like how well it fits our mental stereotype.
Even if the actual odds are low.
Yeah, even despite the odds. So, you meet someone in LA, they're dressed sharp, maybe work late. You instantly think movie execs or something, right?
Uh-huh.
But you might completely ignore the higher probability they're in finance or tech, or even a grad student working hard.
Yeah.
You judged based on the stereotype, the representativeness, not the base rate.
Okay, I can see how that happens constantly. What's another one?
The availability heuristic.
Availability.
This is where we judge how likely something is based on how easily examples come to mind, how available they are in our memory.
So if something is really vivid or recent, we think it's more common.
Exactly. And the danger is overweighing those vivid instances. Media coverage plays a huge role here.
Like, intense coverage of a specific crime might make people overestimate the risk of that crime happening to them.
Precisely. People might really fear something like a school shooting, which is statistically rare but incredibly vivid and heavily reported, while maybe underestimating the daily risk from, say, traffic accidents on the 405, which are far more common but less available in that dramatic sense.
Our fear follows the vivid story, not the actual statistics.
Yeah, our System 1 latches onto what's easily recalled.
This is fascinating. What else does our quick thinking brain do?
Another thing is counterfactual thinking.
Counterfactual. Sounds complex.
It's just imagining alternative scenarios.
Right.
Thinking what if, what might have happened but didn't.
Oh, like when you just miss the bus and think, if only I'd left 2 minutes earlier.
Exactly that. Or, a near miss on the freeway.
Yeah.
Wow, that could have been so much worse. And the research suggests this serves a purpose. Imagining a worse outcome can make us feel better about what actually happened.
Dodged a bullet.
Okay. But imagining a better outcome, like if I had studied more, that can motivate us to prepare better next time.
So what ifs can be useful, depending on how we frame them.
Right. And it's not just external events influencing us. Our internal state, our moods, they profoundly infuse our judgments.
Moods affect judgment. How so?
Well, happy people tend to be more trusting, more loving, more responsive. The world literally seems friendlier, safer.
Okay, a good mood helps. What about bad moods?
Bad moods, or feeling depressed, tend to prime negative thoughts and memories. Interestingly, though, a bad mood can sometimes motivate more intense, careful thinking. System 2 might kick in more.
But it also makes you see things negatively.
Yeah, the module mentions a study where people in a bad mood actually detected fewer positive behaviors when watching a video of themselves. They literally saw themselves more negatively.
Wow. So if I have a terrible morning, I might genuinely misinterpret neutral interactions later because my mood is coloring everything.
That's precisely it. And this is like a core idea. We respond not to reality as it is, but to reality as we construe it, as we interpret it.
Our preconceptions act like filters.
Exactly, like colored glasses. Think about politics or even sports fans watching the same game. They see totally different events based on their existing beliefs and loyalties.
Debates rarely change minds. They just confirm what people already thought.
Right. Our beliefs guide how we process information, which leads us to another tricky cognitive habit. Belief perseverance.
Belief perseverance. Is that like confirmation bias?
It's related, but it's about the stickiness of a belief once it's formed, even if the original evidence is completely debunked.
How sticky are we talking?
Shockingly sticky. There was an experiment mentioned where researchers planted a false belief, got people to explain why it might be true, and then completely discredited the initial information.
Okay. So what happened?
About 75% of the false beliefs still survived, even after being told the foundation was totally wrong.
75%, that's huge. That makes challenging things like fake news seem almost impossible once an idea takes root.
It shows how hard it is to dislodge an initial conception. It takes real mental work.
And speaking of things not being what they seem, what about memory? We trust our memories, right?
We do, but maybe we shouldn't trust them quite so much. The research shows memory isn't like a recording we replay. We actually construct our memories when we retrieve them.
Construct them, like build them on the spot.
In a way, yeah. We often revise them
Hmm.
unconsciously to fit our current knowledge or mood.
Is that where the misinformation effect comes in?
Exactly. We incorporate misleading information we get after an event into our memory of the event itself, and then we believe it was part of the original experience.
And this also explains rosy retrospection.
Yes, that feeling that things used to be better, or that we've always felt the way we feel right now, we rewrite our past feelings.
And we tend to conveniently forget the bad stuff we did and inflate the good stuff.
We certainly do. We tend to underreport past bad behavior and overreport the good. We edit our own history to make ourselves look better, even just to ourselves.
Okay, so our grasp on reality, our memories, it's all a bit more flexible than we think. How does this apply to how we see other people's behavior?
That brings us to attribution theory. This is all about how we explain why people do what they do.
Okay, explaining behavior.
We generally attribute behavior to one of two things. Either a dispositional attribution, meaning it's due to the person's traits, their personality, who they are.
Like they're just a helpful person.
Right. Or we make a situational attribution, meaning it's due to the environment, the circumstances, the situation they're in.
They helped because they were asked to, or they were late because of traffic.
Exactly. And often we make a very quick, effortless judgment about someone's traits based on their behavior. That's called spontaneous trait inference.
Spontaneous, so it just pops into our head.
Pretty much. System one again?
Yeah.
You see someone trip, you might instantly think clumsy. You see someone help someone else, you think kind. It's automatic.
But is that automatic judgment always right?
Well, that leads us to perhaps the most famous concept in social psychology, the fundamental attribution error, or FAE for short.
The fundamental attribution error. Okay, what is it?
It's our widespread tendency as observers to underestimate the power of the situation on someone else's behavior and to overestimate the influence of their personal disposition, their traits.
So we blame the person more than the situation.
Generally, yes. When we're looking at other people, the classic example,
Yeah.
someone cuts you off in traffic.
Yeah.
Your immediate FAE reaction is likely, what a jerk, or that person is so aggressive. That's a dispositional attribution.
Yeah.
You're probably not thinking maybe they're rushing to the hospital or maybe they're incredibly stressed and made a mistake. You underestimate the potential situational factors.
We jump to conclusions about their character.
We do. The module notes that our individualistic Western culture kind of primes us for this. We tend to think people, not situations, are the primary cause of events.
That makes sense. So we need to consciously fight that FAE, especially when working with others, like in study groups at college.
Absolutely. Before you label a teammate lazy disposition for missing a deadline, pause. Consider the situation. Do they have 3 other midterms? Family emergency, technical issues. Checking the situation helps avoid the FAE and maintains collaboration.
Okay, so we misjudge others, we misremember our past. How do our beliefs actually start shaping the future?
Now we get to where our internal world actively creates our external reality. Our beliefs and judgments don't just sit there, they influence how we act. And by acting that way,
We can make the belief come true.
exactly, that's the self-fulfilling prophecy,
Mm.
or SFP, a belief that leads to its own fulfillment.
How does that work in practice?
Well, the module gives powerful examples from academia. Teacher expectations, for instance. They aren't just a result of student performance. They can be a cause.
Really? How?
Teachers might unconsciously give more attention, more positive nonverbal cues, smiles, nods to students they expect to do well. And students pick up on this. It can actually boost the performance of those students, fulfilling the teacher's initial expectation.
Wow. So a teacher believing in you can actually help make you successful.
I can have a real impact.
Yeah.
And the same applies to your expectations for yourself, maybe in your career goals here in Los Angeles.
If I strongly believe I can succeed in a certain field,
That belief fuels actions. You'll likely study harder, network more effectively, persevere through setbacks, behaviors that make the success you expect more likely. Your belief helps generate the outcome.
so our expectations are powerful drivers.
Immensely powerful. And sometimes this works through something called behavioral confirmation.
Okay, what's that?
It's a specific type of self-fulfilling prophecy. It's when your expectations about someone else lead you to act in ways that cause them to behave consistently with your expectation.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say you expect a new colleague to be unfriendly or cold. Because of that expectation, maybe you act a bit distant yourself, you avoid eye contact, keep interactions brief.
Okay.
Well, your colleague might sense your coolness and respond in kind, seeming reserved or unfriendly back to you.
Ah, so my behavior, based on my expectation, actually elicited the cold behavior I was expecting in the first place.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
confirmed your own prophecy through your actions. You created the reality you anticipated.
Man, this module really is a deep dive. It makes you rethink, well, everything.
It's powerful stuff. And the key takeaway isn't that intuition, system one, is bad. We need it for creativity, for quick decisions.
Ugh.
But we have to recognize its potential for error, its biases, understanding overconfidence, confirmation bias, the attribution error. It's about gaining awareness.
So we can be more mindful, more deliberate when it matters.
Exactly. It's about cultivating a kind of mental discipline, resisting that easy certainty, that arrogance of thinking we're always right or that we see things completely objectively.
It's a crucial skill set, not just for passing Professor Seggi's class, but for navigating careers, relationships,
Yeah.
life, really.
Absolutely. This knowledge is a tool for better understanding yourself and others.
So, to all the Los Angeles City College students working through this module, keep digging in. Understanding how your own mind works is maybe the most valuable thing you can learn. And maybe here's something to chew on. If our memories aren't perfect recordings, if we subtly rewrite them based on how we feel now, what does that mean for our relationships?
Good question.
Knowing memory's flawed, maybe it means we need to be more present, more conscious about building and maintaining those connections now, rather than relying solely on potentially edited memories of the past.
That's a really insightful way to think about it. It connects this module's ideas directly to how we live our lives.
And the next modules are going to build right on this foundation of social thinking, looking at attitudes, persuasion, and more.
Yeah, get ready. We're going even deeper into how we navigate our social worlds.
We'll see you then.